Whole new lease on life from this side of the room. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
With the Hibernians, they donated.
Okay. What? I didn't say anything. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the December 10th, 2024 Town of Hempstead Board Meeting. With that, I'd ask the clerk to call the roll.
Supervisor Clavin.
I am here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here?
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Here.
Councilwoman Miller.
Here.
Councilman Muscarella.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
Councilman Schneider.
Here. Councilman Schneider, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the first public hearing.
Our first public hearing is a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Belmore, Levittown, Oceanside, and Woodmere.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips on item number one. Anybody wishes to be heard that did not sign in on number one? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board consider the item.
Second?
Okay, we have Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Baldwin, Belmore, Elmont, Franklin Square, Hewlett, Levittown, North Belmore, North Merrick, Oceanside, Roosevelt, Seaford, Uniondale, and near Valley Stream and Woodmere.
That was a long one. Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any, I do have a slip. I have Ms. Meriday. When you called, if you just go to the podium in the back, give your name and address. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and address, thank you.
Rita J. Meriday, Baldwin resident. Still questioning why residents have to stand from the back of the room to address issues that we pay our taxes for. But regarding this item on the agenda, just like to know the actual locations for the Baldwin sites.
Name and address, thanks.
Good morning, Tom Reed, representing Traffic Control. The location in Baldwin is Baldwin Avenue. It's a restriction that is being implemented between two driveway aprons of two neighbors who are kind of having a little dispute with the parking in the area. So we'll be clearing that area out.
I see. Okay, is that one of the streets, one of the town streets in Baldwin that has issues with regard to poor lighting, or is this just a parking issue? Because we have a number of town streets in Baldwin that still have lighting problems that I believe were brought to the attention of the dual representatives for the Baldwin area since Baldwin was split in half.
Tom, this is just a parking issue, right?
Traffic Control.
Traffic control? Okay. Yeah. If you'd like to follow up in writing in an email about the streets, please send it to me. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I definitely will do that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody else wish to be heard? Item number two? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board consider the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Belmore, Elmont, Merrick, and near Valley Stream.
Okay. Any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I don't have any slips on item number three. Anybody
No.
wishes to be heard did not sign
I
in?
can't see it now.
Oh.
Move it back. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. All right, now may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board consider the item.
Any second?
Second?
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella. Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding traffic regulations in the vicinity of schools in North Belmore.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips in this item. Anybody wish to be heard did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and that the board approve the proposal.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding gross weight restrictions in Roosevelt.
Okay, a member of the board wish to be heard? Have any slips on this? Anybody wish to be heard did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the update regulation and hope that all of the board members will be in charge of it. I'll do the work, whatever.
Second motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding loading zones in Oceanside.
All right, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips in this item. Anybody wish to be heard and not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
I second that motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding fire zones in Belmore.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips in this item. Anybody wish to be heard did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and that the board consider the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking for firemen only in Belmore.
Okay, a member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips. Any member of the board wish to be heard did not sign in on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board consider the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin. Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Baldwin, Belrose Terrace, that is, Elmont, Franklin Square, Garden City South, Levittown, Roosevelt, near Valley Stream, near Lawrence, Seaford, and West Hempstead.
All right, any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I do have a slip on this item. Ms. Meriday?
Again, Meta J. Meriday, Baldwin resident. The locations for Baldwin, actually locations for Baldwin and Roosevelt, and again, with notation that we still have unlit streets in Baldwin that are town roads.
Yes, Tom Reed representing traffic control. Again, the location for the handicap parking is for a resident on Howard Place.
On Howard Place, okay, so that's the only Baldwin location?
That's the Baldwin location, yes. The parking restriction will be implemented in front of their home for handicap parking.
Okay. And the requirements for residents who want to sign up for handicap parking are what?
Well, if you get a doctor's note, you have to go to the Office of Physically Challenged to get a permit. And then if you wish to have handicap parking in front of your home, you would just send in a request to our office, and we would conduct a survey to legally adopt a 20-foot parking restriction within the property lines of your residence.
Okay. And who maintains the signs?
If the resident has a problems with the signs, if they get damaged or something, they can contact us, and we'd be happy to go out and fix and replace the signs.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else wish to be heard?
Roosevelt location, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Which street in Roosevelt?
The location is Howard Place.
Roosevelt, not Baldwin.
I'm sorry.
Is it East Raymond?
Yeah, the Roosevelt handicap parking case is on East Raymond Avenue.
Okay. Great, all right, thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else wish to be heard? If not, can I have a motion,
I
please?
move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law entitled Department of Water Rates and Regulations in relation to water rates and charges.
Anybody on the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips. Anybody wish to be heard did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the Department of Water Rates and Regulations and ask for the support of the board.
Second?
Second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law to amend several sections of Chapter 128 and Chapter 176 of the Hempstead Town Code in relation to fees.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I didn't have any slips. Anybody wish to be heard that did not sign in on this item? If not, may I please? Would you like to be heard?
Sure do.
Okay.
I just need some explanation and rationale for whatever this is.
John? John? I'm sorry. It's number 11.
Those are fees that the Department of Sanitation
Bless you.
are requesting. The biggest one is it's going from $50 to $150. I'll give you a copy of the statute to show you the exact one if you don't have a copy. But it's small increases for people who dump at the town facilities.
So these are increases in fees or in fines?
No, fees.
Okay, because it says proposed to amend several sections. I'm on number 11.
I have a copy of it if you'd like. I'll give it to you. It was
Okay.
on the website, but it's basically for dumping fees.
For
And
dumping
to get
fees.
permits to actually dump
Okay.
at our facilities.
So was this something that was discussed initially as far as a part of the budget measure? Or, I mean, is this involving businesses or small businesses that have to utilize this resource? You're saying a small fee, but small fee for you might not necessarily be a small fee for the institution or the organization.
Well, you hit it right on the head. It is a lot.
I try. I do
It is
try.
a lot of small businesses. However, it was $50, and now we're raising it to $150, the application. So quite frankly, we have to vet some people to make sure, whether it be a landscaper or a construction person that's doing some work, we have to do a little vetting to make sure that they're bringing the right type of, you get a big truck and there's a whole bunch of garbage in it. You want to make sure you know who's dumping at your facility. So it's a modest increase, but I understand your concerns. This was brought up to the supervisor over a year ago by the Commissioner of Sanitation, and he put it off because of, the conditions out there with regard to inflation and things like this. But to be quite frank, sanitation has been pushing and pushing and pushing. And it's a big issue for them, and it's a lot of people that you can imagine. Largest town in America, how many small businesses are dumping there? So we have to expend some money to make sure that it's done properly.
Right, or we can consider other ways to kind of reduce how we're getting rid of our waste and using more conservation aspects that we don't necessarily adopt in the town until it's much later. Other areas still have a large volume of dumping and waste removal that they do a better job at removing. But I would definitely appreciate a copy of the statute. If you all are going along with it and folks are leaving in droves or losing their homes, there's nothing I can say about it. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else wish to be heard? If not, may I have a motion?
I move the item and ask for the support of the board.
Second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
It is an item to consider authorizing the Town of Hempstead Sanitary District Number 6 to sell at auction surplus machinery and equipment.
Okay, anybody wish to be heard in this on the town board? I don't have any slips. Anybody wish to be heard? If not, may I have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
And Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed increase and improvement of the East Meadow Water District.
Okay, and member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, don't have any slips in this item. Anybody wish to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the board approved the item.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the application of Matone Group Raceway LLC et al. For a PUD master plan review and approval for premises known as 1250 Corporate Drive in Westbury.
Good morning, members of the town board. William Benesso for Chelly Deegan Tirana, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York, here on behalf of the petitioners, Matone Group Raceway LLC, JMM Raceway LLC, and Gart Roosevelt Associates LLC. Together, they are the owners and applicants in connection with this project, which is proposing the introduction of a Planet Fitness Center in the southeast quadrant of the planned unit development in the old Roosevelt Raceway locale. The subject property is subject to a master plan review and approval by the town board whenever a new use is proposed, and that is why we're before the board today. With me today is Mr. Wayne Muller of R&M Engineering, our site engineers, and Mr. Muller is a transportation engineer who's been recognized by this board on many occasions and permitted to provide expert opinion testimony in the areas of parking and traffic. He has prepared a report which has already been submitted to the town clerk for the board's review should they want to see that. In addition, here today from Planet Fitness is Cara Pagan. She's a representative of the tenant who will be going into the building and can answer any questions that the board might have in connection with the operation. The fitness center will move into the former David's Bridal space situated at the west end of the shopping center next to the PGA Superstore. Interior alterations will be made to the 15,549 square foot space that will permit the fitness center use. But no modifications will be made to the footprint or access points to the space. The only exterior work to be done will be the introduction of new signage on the building identifying the space as Planet Fitness. The use has been determined by the building department and the town attorney's office to be a permitted use. As such, the original filed application, which sought an amendment to the zoning ordinance pertaining to permitted uses in the PUD, is no longer necessary. This is deemed a permitted use in the district pursuant to Section 370E. So no modification to the PUD zoning provisions will be necessary. In fact, no relief is required from the town board other than the requirement for any new use in the PUD that the master plan be modified. The parking on site is sufficient to accommodate the new use, and all other bulk, area, and height requirements are met. While Planet Fitness advertises a 24/7 operation, this center is actually intended to operate like that only during the weekdays. The facility will open at 5 a.m. on Monday morning and be open 24 hours through Friday at 10 p.m. On the weekends, Saturday and Sundays, the facility will open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. The busiest times of the facility will be early morning and late afternoon and evenings. According to Planet Fitness, the peak times for members to be present are from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. during the week. On weekends, the peak times will be from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. During these times, it's expected that 35 to 50 members will check into the facility per hour. The average time there for a member is about 45 minutes. This is a good complement to the other uses in the center because when it's active, the retail and restaurant activities in the center are not active. So there's not the parking demand for the fitness center will not interfere with parking demand for the retail and for the restaurant. It's not an employee-intensive use. The facility will employ a total of approximately 12 to 14 people split into 3 shifts.
6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., and 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. At any given time, there will not be more than 3 or 4 employees present in the building. Planet Fitness is geared towards independent training and workouts. There are no classes or personal trainers that they provide on site. Members come, use the equipment and facilities, and typically leave. There are showers available and a locker room. During the overnight shift, one of the employees present will be a cleaning person for equipment and locker rooms and bathrooms. Deliveries are also relatively few. The drinks sold at the facility are supplied by Pepsi, and deliveries occur once a week. Office and cleaning supplies are supplied by Staples and come every other week. And branded retail items like hats and shirts and bags, etc., are provided by Planet Fitness corporate and delivered by FedEx every other week. They all come via box trucks, not tractor trailers. They occur during regular business hours, and they occur through the front doors, not a loading dock. Planet Fitness has indicated that they'll have 2 garbage pickups a week. They don't have a lot of waste, and the use should fit very nicely into the center. If you take a look at the traffic report, you'll find that, as noted, the parking we have more parking than required, so there's no parking variance associated here. And the findings of the traffic expert are that the site will operate efficiently and without congestion on site circulation and for parking. That's our direct presentation. Unless the board has questions of myself, Mr. Muller, or Ms. Pagan, that's our case.
All right,
have
thank
a
you, Ms.
que-
Vanessa.
may
I know
I
you got
ask
a
a
couple of
question?
board members have
Yep.
questions here.
As far as deliveries for supplies, do you have a time frame within which that would happen?
They would happen during business hours, not overnight.
Okay. So I'm just wondering if it will affect the other businesses in the area.
They only come, as noted, they only come once a week or once every other week. So the likelihood that they would interfere with other uses in the shopping center are very low.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman?
I have a question. Are they company-owned or are they franchisees?
Is this a franchise? Corporate-owned
Okay.
company.
And how does this opening of the Planet Fitness affect the one over there by Vincent's Clam Bar? Is that going to stay there?
sorry, I didn't
over there
hear
by? How does this opening affect the other Planet Fitness over by Roosevelt Field in reference to Bob's Furniture Store? There's another one there. How do they?
I'll have Ms. Pagan
Okay.
respond to that. Would you state your name and
Hi,
position?
good morning. I'm Kara Pagan. I'm a senior director for Planet Fitness Corporate Clubs. All of the locations on Long Island are corporate owned. So we own the entire market. They're all of our locations. So the location that we have over in Bob's that we relocated 2 years ago, we have since grown out of. We have a lot of members at that location. We would like more space for our members. It's really why we would like to open this location in Westbury.
So you're going to maintain both of them?
Yes, we are.
How many stores, how many units do you have on Long Island right now?
On Long Island, in Nassau and Suffolk, we have 27.
Okay, thank you.
Tommy, you think of that?
Oh, yeah, one other question, One other question.
Resolution? What do you got going on here?
Well, okay, so I'm going to I don't have to recuse myself because I'm not a member, so that's a good thing. You have other things in there going, like tanning and things like that? Or what other auxiliary type of things are going on?
We do. So all of our locations include a Black Card spa. So that is, we have tanning beds, we have total body enhancement, which is a red light technology. We have hydro massage beds, recovery lounges, which is like a cooling bed. We have massage chairs.
Thinking of joining?
Tommy, I'm fascinated with this line of questioning, Tommy, so let's keep going.
I'm good.
You sure?
Let me make a motion?
If I could follow up.
Hold on.
If I could follow up, because some people in my office had some questions. You mentioned the tanning beds and things like that. I'm assuming you're going to have what a regular gym has with regard to, treadmills and things like that, ellipticals, the Stairmasters, things like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, how many machines are you going to have?
We provide in this location with this size, we'll have about 70 pieces of cardio equipment. So that includes a mix of treadmills, ellipticals, stair climbers, recumbent bikes, spin bikes. We have a full strength line, so all upper, lower body equipment. We have free weights, plate loaded equipment. We have TRX equipment, which is like body weight for members. So it's a full facility.
Okay, and I'm sorry I missed it. Your hours of operation?
Our hours of operation here we'll open Monday at 5 a.m. We're 24 hours through the week. We'll close Friday at 10 p.m. Then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll be open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
And your busiest times?
Typically busiest times, and I went based off of the Carl Place location that we have, just trying to give the best idea. 7 to 9 a.m. is the busiest during the weekdays, and then after work hours, of course, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. On the weekends, we're typically busiest 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And Mr. Benesso, I think it's taken over a bridal shop, correct?
Correct. It was the David's Bridal space that closed in June of this year.
So I'm assuming that you're going to have a different flow of traffic to your gym.
Yes, I indicated earlier that this is a good complementary use because the busiest times for traffic activity will be early morning and late afternoon, times when the retail and restaurant activity is light. So it's a good complement. You don't have high demand in the center when the retail has high demand and vice versa.
How many members would you anticipate for Planet Fitness?
That's a good question. In this location, so we obviously will share members with what we currently have in Carl Place. I do anticipate some members transferring out. On average, a gym this size, we could have anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000.
4,000 or 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bill, I got a quick question for you regarding the traffic flow coming north up there with your next door neighbor. Any issues with I don't know, what's it called, Ravel now, or whatever it is? It used to be Covanta.
I'll have Mr. Mueller address that.
I appreciate that.
Good morning. For the record, Wayne Mueller, R&M Engineering, offices at 50 Elm Street, Huntington, New York. No, we do not anticipate any problems with traffic flow in and around the center.
Okay.
So in fact, during the morning hour when they're the busiest, it would generate obviously more traffic than David's Bridal, but on a whole, the center is at its lowest level. And then again, in the evening, it would generate more traffic than David's, but then that's when all the activity at the center is going down. And the peak time of the center is actually on Saturday at midday between 11 and 3, when the gym is essentially at its lowest level.
Yeah,
it's a good complementary use.
I'm just thinking of the flow. And has there been any conversation or anything about if Covanta or whatever was to relocate just to allowing the flow to come off of Stewart Avenue instead? Was that even a topic that was discussed or thought about?
It was not.
Okay, I was just wondering. Okay, like I said, I just know the area, I know the flow, and I know the hours over there. So I was wondering if it was going to impede. It seems like it's enough of a distance north that it shouldn't be a hindrance with the traffic of the parkways.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. All right.
Just one more question, Mr. Supervisor. Bill, based upon the size of the facility, how many required parking spots would this use need?
The fitness center requires 103.3, so 104 parking spaces.
Okay, and how many parking spots would you say that the shopping center, for lack of a better word, the mall has?
The total center requires 1,657 spaces, and the site provides 1,756 spaces.
So more than the required amount.
Correct.
Yeah, Bill, and you're talking about the flow all the way down to the Home Depot, which is on the eastern side of the location, right?
Correct.
Does that include, what is it, Tesla down there now?
Yes,
Who's down there?
that is
Does that include the Tesla facility as well? It does. Okay. All right.
I have nothing further, Supervisor.
Okay. If not, thank you very much. May I have a hang out here, Bill, for a little bit in case we have any questions? First off, aside from the question of the town board, I don't have any other slips. Anybody not sign in wishes to ask questions? Oh, hold on. Yep.
Just kind of getting the overview from the presentation. You all might have more information, but again, since this impacts the public, potentially in a huge way, if certain other considerations take place that will further clog up Meadowbrook Parkway. Issues of security. I heard somewhere there between maybe 3 to 6 employees for the number of participants. What are the safety measures that'll be in place for the clients, either within the facility or external to the facility? Health supports. A lot of people may think they are more fit than they really are. Do you have the AED requirements there, support, CPR, the training capabilities for those who will be in the facility? And again, handicap access. So what are the particulars for that? The handicap parking, accessibility for people with a variety of different challenges. And just again, how are you impacting the community overall as far as being corporate, your community partnerships and your outreach to the community, young people. With 3 to 6 jobs, I don't really see where you can have room for anyone to maybe intern or things of that nature. But again, those would be my initial questions, just from trying to get a rehash on something that I don't really have any documents. And secondarily, we have, again, all of these wide screens, and it'd be nice if residents could see some of these presentations when we come to these meetings ahead of time, so we can get a better idea of what's going to be going on in the communities where most of us live closer to, that you all make decisions about. So that's where I am. Thank you.
Bill, you and your team?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to address your questions. So I also this may ease your mind a bit, or any residents. I've worked for Planet Fitness for 20 years. I grew up in this company, and I started working at a location out in Hampton Bays. And now I oversee all of our corporate locations, which is 271 as of right now. So ease your mind that we do a lot in the community. We are heavily involved in the community as much as we can be. We love to participate in community events to obviously promote our business, but to involve community members. We hire from right within the community. So we will hire all of our team members that live right in the area, and we will have a total of anywhere from 12 to 14 on our team. So again, we very much love to be embedded in our communities, and we do that in all the states that we operate in. So security measures, we are a 24-hour facility, as you stated. Inside our facility, we do have security cameras in every inch of our building as they're allowed, obviously. We have panic buttons located throughout our facility for our team to use in case of emergencies. We have safety procedures. We follow all of the state, county, town regulations that we're required to. So safety evacuations, all of that. We are extremely prepared when it comes to our team member safety. Certainly our number one priority, as well as our member safety. So like I said, it's a 24-hour accessible facility. And we are fully staffed. So again, if there was an emergency inside or directly outside of our facility, there would be someone there to take care of it. We do have an AED. We require certification and renewal certifications for all of our team members that are in the facility. And we do have trainers on staff there to be able to help and assist on equipment if needed.
And I presume you satisfy all ADA requirements in connection with
Absolutely, all ADA requirements. So going into our facility, inside the facility, our parking requirements, I'm sure we fulfill with handicap spaces right in the front of the building, as we always do in all of the locations.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, how many employees did you indicate that you would have?
We'll most likely have anywhere from 12 to 14.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, anything else you want to add to that?
That's it, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you.
Hey, Bill, a question for you regarding the development of the traffic flow in the area with all the proposed concepts of development in the area. All these changes were submitted to the county, so they're aware of it with their with whatever review they're doing right now. Is that right?
This does not require 239 F, review, because there's no modifications being made to the site. So the county really hasn't looked at this because it's not changing curb cuts, it's not changing access points or anything to that effect.
Okay. Maybe as just a courtesy, you know what, maybe you guys could send a letter to them.
Sure.
So it's part of their record, that the residents will feel confident to know that it was reviewed.
No problem.
Because like I said, people, just want everybody to feel like everything's included. Is that fair?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. All right. Any board, any other questions? If not, may I please have a motion?
Before I make my request to the board, just so you know, there's two things at play here, and I want the board to remember that. It's Christmas time, and there was a lot of gift giving going on out there, and there's a movement out there, as per RFK, to make America healthy again. So I am now going to make my movement. I move that the public hearing be closed and the board accept the item.
I second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
I will only make and join in this motion, Tommy, if you commit after the first of the year. You and I have a weigh-in, and we go for a 90-day healthy commitment of eating and getting in shape and exercise. Not at this facility because we're doing a vote on it. No offense. It sounds like a great facility. Tommy, are you willing to make that commitment?
Game on.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion with that. All right. That's a move right there. That's a yes.
I wouldn't normally thank a board member for a movement, but in this case, I'm very appreciative.
Oh, Bill, you know what? Maybe you want to join us.
You can tell.
I'm teasing. All right, so I'm going to vote yes on this.
Wait,
We did get a second. Dorothy second.
All right, Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Yes. Councilman Dunn.
As long as I don't have to.
Aye. Take a stand, Dennis. That's good. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
I will say yes, as long as Tony, he does not forget what he promised.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye. Thank you very much.
We look forward to it, and we'll see you April 1st. All right. May I, Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar?
I do find it interesting. April Fool's Day?
Well, it is away, and I'm not going to. We're concerned about Tommy.
On the administrative calendar, we have items 15 through 66.
Mr. Supervisor, I would like to amend for clarity, Resolution 58 and annex the copy of a copy of the next list.
Mm-hmm.
I've given it to all of the town board members.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. I have one speaker signed in, a town board, which should be heard in the administrative calendar. If not, Ms. Meredith?
Mr. Supervisor, I think we need a motion
Separate?
to amend the
separate?
resolution. Yes.
Okay, so can I have a motion to amend number 58 on the administrative calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Coosby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye. Okay. Now, back to the administrative calendar. Any member of the board wish to heard on the full administrative calendar? I have a slip in from Ms. Meredith.
Still morning, I gather.
Yep.
This is often a lot to take in, but I'll just get to some specific issues. Number 49. Real quick, I'm hoping that we can continue to incorporate evening meetings with this session, but I'm also asking for the amount of flyers that are sent out for various things, Passport Day, Rake a Leaf, that we also broaden the scope as far as promoting these actual meetings for residents to ideally increase that participation. It almost seems like you don't want people to come to the meetings, but you want them to know about, well, definitely important, raking that leaf or driving through a park. So again, I'm hoping for additional evening meetings and better promotion with representatives actually showing up at community meetings so they can be seen and heard and our issues addressed, because we're coming to the end of the year and there's a lot of issues that still are going unaddressed in communities such as Baldwin, Roosevelt, Uniondale, etc. 56, total amount of the claims, when it says settlement of damages, if someone can address that. 58, authorizing a transfer and modification of various funds. What funds? Where are they transferred from? Where are they going to? Why the modification? When we get these budgets, multiple page budgets that again are not providing the services for the underserved in our communities, always like to know at the end of the year what was so wrong at the end of the year that was presented to be so right when you put the budget together. So if I could get some answers to those questions.
Mr. Supervisor, can I briefly answer them with regard to, I believe 56 with regard to settlement of the damages?
Yeah.
You'll see 57 is the financing for that settlement of $490,000. If you remember, Ms. Meriday, we had a hearing because we had to amend the budget for that water district because we had a horrible main break and there was some significant damage, and this isn't the end of it. There are still about 15 claims that are out there, not 15, a little less, that are out there that we still have to settle. And in one instance, someone is asking for a significant amount of money, so that is absolutely going to be litigated. With regard to 58, there is another resolution on the agenda, changing the fund balances and amending the funds for 2023. So from time to time, the town board is required to change the numbers. So with regard to 58, we have had some comments from our auditors that said we need to do it on a more regular basis. You can't wait to amend those funds. You shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't amend those funds for 2023 and 2024. So with my discussions with the controller and the chief of staff and the supervisor, we want to do it on a more regular basis. Employees come, employees go. Employees get raises. Sometimes we hire people. We had an incentive last year where we hire people, where we got people off the town payroll at a significant cost. People who work here a long time get paid more money, and we hire people at significantly less. So when you get rid of an employee for $100,000 and you replace them with a $56,000 employee, you have to amend the budget. So that's what this resolution is for.
And lastly, on the other one, we do publicize when the town board meetings are. They're in the town calendars, and we actually publicize a lot of the meetings. We've had great attendance at a number of our meetings. Particularly, I remember, John, you remember we had the good meeting over at the Marriott. We had a day and a night, and we invited everybody down there, and we also let residents know. And we had the big one for the recently down the development of the 5 towns. And the last one, when it comes to some of the great programs we do, I'm never going to be shy about telling people and letting them know about the good programs we have for recycling when other towns are coming in here asking us and taking our ideas and utilize them because they're good. And a lot of the ideas come from the residents. So we're happy about sharing that, but we take it all into account and we appreciate it. And I've made those notes that you want a couple additional ones. So I'm happy to see what we can do.
Thank you.
There's one thing that you have not heard about, I think, is the fact that we, each year, by the time before the end of the school is finished, we send out booklets to the teachers, which they distribute to the kids. And then at the end of that, we have a graduation for the kids for the reading. And not only that, the parents come out and join them, and some from other districts as well. So that's one of the things we do. But each year, we always have programs every year. Everybody's invited to come. We do not stop anyone. And we send it out. So there's no reason, for some people not coming because they do receive it in the mail. Plus, we send it to all of the libraries as well. So there are a lot of things that we do for our residents, that you can come anytime you want. You just read it. And that's all we ask you to do.
Right. 52, what is the actual policy as it pertains to investments?
John?
Good morning, Supervisor Town Board, John Mastro Marino, the treasurer. The policy dictates where the reserves are to be invested, and the town only invests in certificates of deposit. and they are collateralized with a third party at 105%. So there are other items in that policy that we could utilize, which does not guarantee the principal. Federal securities, for example, which do, the value goes up or down with the interest rates. So our investment policy at the town is strictly involving overnight funds and idle funds on certificates of deposit.
And who exactly is involved with the review process for the policy?
The supervisor has delegated that to me as part of the resolution and is my responsibility.
It's just you? You don't have a committee, a task force, advisory council?
I have people in my staff that we review constantly that there is adequate reserves with the bank, with a third party, and we get a notification from the bank from the third party. So it's me and my staff as the supervisor has delegated it.
I see.
Thanks, John.
Right.
39 and 40.
Mr. Massimino was just up here, but I'll save him the trip. That's what I talked about before, about 2023 fund balances. That's what 39 is.
Okay, would I be able to get a breakdown of that as well?
It's in the resolution.
Okay. So I'll
And
take
with
the time
regard to
pull it up.
40, if you remember, there was a horrific, catastrophic damages in Florida as a result of a hurricane. And the town board authorized some people, I believe the amount is $12,000 from the town to go and assist in the cleanup, and that's what 40 is for.
Okay, and have we bolstered our own efforts because we are, we're still vulnerable in our own area? But lastly, before my time is up, I'm hoping that the rezoning that impacted Itwood, that may not be resulting here, is not going to impact Baldwin in the upcoming developments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Meredith. Anybody else wish to be heard in the administrative calendar? If not, may I please have a motion?
The administrative calendar. Motion for
I'll make a motion on the administrative calendar, someone? There we go.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, I move that we accept the calendar and determine that it is over. We're going.
Second.
And that would be items 15 through 66, including number 58, which was amended by a prior vote.
Thank you very much. That's right.
Second on that, yes.
All right, Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
A motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold, you don't, ma'am, the meeting's not over yet, okay? Please.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Okay, now that the formal portion of the town board program is over, the town board will remain to listen to the comments of residents that have come today. We'll start with Ray Aurora.
Mr. Supervisor, may I make a comment, please? I just want to mention that Deputy Supervisor Gooseby and myself, we have worked very diligently to get lighting installed on Adele Place in Baldwin at the requests of residents in that area there. I thought it was important to mention.
And since you did, I should also say that Baldwin has asked us to help them as far as their, wonderful place that they have with all of the, with the society, with the museum. And we are going to help them.
Yes,
So
we are. Yep. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ray Aurora. My address is 3712 Terrapin Place in Seaford. First, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. This is not the biggest issue in the world, but I live in Seaford Harbor. Perhaps Councilmember Schneider knows this issue going on with the water plant. It's not the biggest thing, but there's this noticeable smell that I think we all know about, and perhaps you've commented on this in the past. I don't know, Supervisor, but to the extent you can help with this, I know it's not your fault. I know it's not the town's fault per se, but first of all, my wife keeps yapping about it, and I really appreciate it if you guys could do something about it. But besides that, I'm concerned about property values and that type of thing. So it's not the biggest thing, but anything you can do to help with that, I greatly appreciate. Thank you.
Okay, you got it. We'll follow up. Ray, do me a favor, just drop me an email so I can follow up on that one. You got it. Thank you.
Ray, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Supervisor Ray. Can you do the same with me? Thank
Please. Thank you. Ms. Meriday?
Yes, duly noted, Councilwoman Ryder and Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. I will share that with both of the associations in Baldwin with regard to Adele Place and the Historical Society. We are hoping, ideally, that we can get support and funding from the town to address and outline and identify all the town roads in Baldwin that have lighting issues. That shouldn't be just my responsibility, hearing about it at a meeting where there was no town representation 2 months ago. But your comments were duly noted. With regard to my other issues, reading about what was happening in the rescission of the zoning in Inwood and Lawrence, again, my concern carries back to the pending developments taking shape in Baldwin. That it was a long road to get to. We even had to fight the battle here when the monies were going to get clawed back that the little hamlet known as Baldwin had to fight to get. So I'm hoping, and it's, guess it's not on the record now, but it's out there in the atmosphere, that Baldwin residents will be on alert to watch for any delayed reports in Newsday that those zoning properties and projects will not face the same target that is impacted, maybe positively or negatively, in Inwood. So we will see how that goes. There's the indirect discussion. I believe Mr. Lasquandro, I don't ever want to say anybody's name wrong, but he was at the county yesterday with regard to the paperwork, the volume of paperwork that's being reviewed for the draft of the environment impact study with regard to the casino and its detrimental impact despite heavily funded Sands propaganda to the contrary. But we're hoping that there will be a fair review and recommendations. I'm not against development by any means, coming from a family that had to fight to develop the property that we're even standing on with non-union, non-inclusion from a government of that process. And unfortunately, it seems like we're going back to that lack of inclusion. And lastly, I would hope, well, the dismal disparity study, that was no surprise it came out of the county, probably only mirrors that of the dismal impact of inclusion of minority, veteran, and women businesses in the town. And I'm hoping we go into 2025 and remedy any of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. John DiLeonardo? Good morning. Name and address, please. Thank you.
Hi, John DiLeonardo, 95 Linda Lane West in Riverhead. I run UMaine, Long Island. Notorious animal exhibitor Larry Wallach's lawyer, Stephen Politi, has sent my nonprofit a cease and desist letter threatening us on behalf of Billy Berman and Goldman Animal Alliance. He wants us to stop exposing his client's sordid ties to wildlife trafficker Shay Hensley and his other client, Larry Wallach, as well as his abuse of nonprofit charity Greater Good Charities Long Island Pet Rescue Bank. Greater Good Charities Long Island ambassador Mary Tashinkle was also threatened with litigation. Neither of us will be intimidated, but I ask why Larry Wallach's lawyer is threatening me on behalf of Billy Berman if these two sordid characters are not connected. The only individuals in favor of Goldman Animal Alliance's bid to privatize the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter are those that have an economic interest in seeing it go through. Diane Madden told me personally that she was offered a role in the shelter if this bid was approved. She even attempted to bribe me with a position on an oversight committee if I didn't oppose the bid. Gary Kaufman, a board member of Goldman Animal Alliance, has also reportedly been offered a paid position and the ability to operate a pet food bank out of Hempstead Shelter. This sounds fine until you learn that he too was banned from Long Island's Pet Rescue Bank for allegedly selling food and merchandise meant for the needy on the Facebook Marketplace. Neither of these individuals have any experience running a shelter. The only person who appears to have any shelter experience on the board is Michael Rubenstein, who, if according to our search of state and federal records is correct, has been subject to 19 liens for unpaid taxes. Mr. Berman himself has filed for bankruptcy twice. While his finances are a mess, Rubenstein's past experience with the Humane Society of New York is also suspect, with HSNY currently under fire for allegedly warehousing animals themselves. Goldman Animal Alliance is not qualified in character or in experience to run the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. The town of Hempstead has itself been engaging in obstructive behavior. We filed a New York State Freedom of Information request seeking copies of applications to take over the shelter. The town responded by invoking a legally inapplicable exemption and has refused to turn over any documents to us. What is the town hiding? Why would the town even consider giving this shelter to financially irresponsible people? Thank you.
Okay, John, wait, hold on. John, I think there was a proposal and there was an RFP that was open to the public, right?
That is absolutely correct, Supervisor.
So, I'm not too sure of the representation you're making. You want to follow up with the town attorney, but I think when it was done like months ago, that was like a public document everyone was entitled to see. So maybe he doesn't understand the communication he got, but I just want to make sure, you had a fair representation that.
Now, I put in a FOIA request, so did my lawyer, and so did other individuals.
And regarding your personal legal matters with any entity, I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing I can do about that, so.
This has to do with applicants to run the town animal shelter who are connected to wildlife traffickers, so it should concern you. Thank you.
Well, again, you make a representation, and I'm saying that John knows that the document was open to the public. I don't want anybody thinking it wasn't open to the public. Am I right about that?
Absolutely correct.
Right. I just, like I said, I just want to make sure that.
So there are bids that.
No. You had the opportunity. So I'm just letting you know, because you kind of gave the impression that nobody saw a document. I'm like, well, that's
if it's
right?
not a problem to give out the documents, then send me the documents. Thank you.
Then why don't you, again, you drove all the way in from Riverhead, and we appreciate that. You can follow up with the town attorney directly. I kind of directed that.
Yeah,
so that's really easy for you. Okay, thank you. Next, I'll call up Donna Baruso. Good morning. If you name and address for the record, thank you.
Donna Baruso, 60 Stephen Drive in Plainview. And I too am here to mention the privatization of Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, but in a little bit of a different direction. I just would like to go on record that I'm against privatizing the Town of Animal Shelter, and I'd like to urge you to deny William Berman and Goldman Animal Alliance's bid to privatize the shelter. We all know that these decisions usually come down to money for both sides, and I would like to ask all of you that when it is time for you to vote on this, you take a little different approach and you think about the animals in the shelter. You think of risk versus reward. You think about, let's face it, these are just two little things I printed out this morning. Everybody knows the history, the stories, the facts, the myths, the truths, the lies. It's all public knowledge. It's happening right in our town, the county next door in Suffolk County, so everyone can go look it up. And you can decide what you think is true or not. We're not the court, but risk versus reward. So here's the animals. So you have, if you guys decide to grant them the bid, picture all of them standing out in front of you, the dogs, the cats, the good ones, the not so good ones. What would you say to them? Why would you say you granted this group to privatize? How could you look them in the eye? Or will you sit there looking at your coffee cup, looking at the ceiling, and saying, oh yeah, this is a good thing, don't worry, this is a good thing, would you really believe it? They need us. They can't come here to the meeting and talk to all of you. But we're with them. I don't work in that shelter, but I work in a nearby shelter, and we take care of the animals. And I think that before all of you decide what you want to do, whether you grant them with their history, like I said, you know their history, take a trip to the animal shelter. Maybe you guys should do a field trip. And all of you go inside the cages, and I'm not saying this to be funny, I'm saying it to be serious, and sit in there and wait. Wait for your food, wait for your water, wait for your medicine. Wait for someone to say, oh, you're a good dog, you're a good cat. Oh, don't worry, someone will adopt you. And everything you need, everything, food, water, blanket, medicine, is given from someone on the other side of that cage. You can't go to the bathroom, and if you went inside your cage, someone has to come and clean it for you. So which group do you want taking care of you? Do you want the people that are in the animal shelters now? Like I said, I work at a nearby one, but I know a lot of the people in the town shelter. Do you want them taking care of you? Or do you want this Billy Berman, Goldman Alliance group taking care of you? You're in that cage. Everything you need is from whoever's on the outside. So think about that before you vote and before you decide if you want to give it to this group or not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, I have Michelle Oder. Good morning. If you name and address, thank you.
Morning, Michelle Oder, 757 Bixby Drive in Baldwin. I came here to the last meeting, and I'm going to try to get right to the point. I brought up some very concerning and alarming concerns about the project that this town board approved for 2283 Grand Avenue in Baldwin, with the developer being Gregory DeRosa and his company G2D. I brought to your attention the fact that there were many reported and documented reports that Mr. DeRosa and his company are facing over 20 multi-million-dollar lawsuits alleging fraud, money laundering, breach of contract, misrepresentation, and setting up a Ponzi land scheme. In light of the fact that in the town of Huntington, the FBI and the State Attorney General are doing a full-scale investigation into the political leaders and the Huntington Town Board who have they've determined that they have conflicts of interest, and many of their board members have been invested in Mr. DeRosa's properties. It only stands to reason that given the serious allegations and lawsuits surrounding this developer, which this town of Hempstead has had dealings with, that it would be prudent for this board to suspend any further actions on the 2283 project until certain questions have been answered and been made public. Specifically, a comprehensive investigation into any and all relationships between the town of Hempstead, any investors, anybody involved in this project. There needs to be a full disclosure of investor transparency, because any and all people who might be involved in anything having to do with this project needs to be named. There are unnamed investors in this 2283 Grand Avenue project, and this needs to be transparent and it needs to be exposed. Immediate suspension of any negotiations, transfer, or further approvals related to this project until answers have been made. It is really necessary that we have a full and comprehensive investigation by the Ethics Committee, by the Nassau County District Attorney, and I'm going to tell you that a petition is going around Baldwin. We already have over 150, 200 signatures. With the holiday and all right now, it's going to be a little difficult, but this is going to continue to be circulating. So really, we need to appeal to this board to look at the seriousness of this nature. Gregory DeRosa, Philip Foote, who is his attorney, G2D, are being, there are hundreds of articles that are out there, and this board rushed through an approval. What was the scrutiny of the project? If this Greg DeRosa, G2D, was a Ponzi scheming, fraudulent businessman, and you rushed through his project, how sound is this project? This project needs to be stopped immediately.
Thank you very much, Ms. Oder. Next, I have Marcia DiTieri. Hi, good morning. Name and address for the record. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Marcia DiTieri, Merrick, New York. First, I don't know if you've gotten the petition yet, but the Merrick Street Fair, the wild one specifically, got over 2,000 signatures to put tree preservation into the town of Hempstead. I don't know if you've received it yet. Something that I hope for the future of this township will be put into law. Secondly, I am a volunteer, I am an animal advocate, and speaking on behalf of the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, where I go twice a week and watch these animals just linger in cages. And I think it's wonderful that all the adoption fees are being waived, which is a good thing. But more importantly, you need to staff a facility that needs staffing 24/7. These are lives you're talking about. Andrea, who is an experienced part-timer, was laid off. Even though she was there for over a year, she was considered seasonal. Another part-timer, Jane, who's been there for a long time, her hours were just cut. A full-timer at the front desk just left. So now with the holiday season, wanting more adopters, you need more people at the front desk. You need more staffing. You need more dedicated people to get the adopters in, to get the animals out of there, and to make it a better place. Instead of laying off people, why don't you hire more, especially for the holidays? People are walking away. I see it all the time. The volunteers, they actually speak with the tentative adopters because there aren't enough adoption people to interact with them to get these animals out of the shelter. Please, do it for the future, do it for the animals. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Thierry. I don't have any other slips. Anybody else wish to be heard that did not sign in? Sure, if you go to the back there and give your name and address, thank you.
Hi, Hillary Flanagan, Belmore, New York. Good morning, Supervisor, Town Board. I wish you all a happy holiday this season.
Thank you.
While I know still not on the agenda, I wish to follow up regarding the discussions of privatization of the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter with Golden Animal Alliance. To reiterate, the information that was sent to the Chief of Staff clearly not only shows that none of the board members have any experience in running a shelter of this size, and as a matter of fact, the financial instability and affiliations are clear. I sent further information to the Chief of Staff yesterday, which I'm sure he will communicate with you. I've been communicating with him directly. Again, I wish to communicate our serious goal for better relationships with all of you. We would really like to have you down at the shelter more and interact with us a lot more. We really don't like having come into these meetings to do this. In the past, I actually had a really nice relationship with Councilman Carini, who is very sorely missed and was an incredible person. And we used to talk at least once a month just about different issues that were going on, just so we could, be on the same page with each other. I would rather be here communicating to you our amazing programs and the engagement that the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter does with the community. Donations for enrichment for this season have been off the charts. The community has been sending in so many gifts for the cats and the dogs and just everything that goes on at the shelter. We do a bunch of adoption events, which I've sent the calendar to all of you. We would love to have you come to any of those events and participate with us. And I'll continue to send you that calendar. We were recently at London Jewelers, and we're going to be working with a couple of other groups for our humane program as well. We have a Secret Santa with Barkfield Road in East Northport, which every single dog will get a personalized gift from all of their shoppers, which we will give to all of the animals when it comes time at the shelter, and you're more than welcome to come for any of that. Santa will be coming on Christmas to give all of the dogs and cats treats from the Barking Biscuit, and they have been great supporters of ours. The people at the shelter have worked tirelessly for their incredible social media outreach, and the adoptions department is on fire. There are animals being adopted left and right to wonderful, wonderful homes. And we just wish we'd be more of a part of that, and we look forward to all of the great things that can happen together and in the future. And until we hear that this is off the table, I will see you next meeting. So thank you so much.
Okay, we'll see you next month. Next, if you give your name and address, come on up there. Thanks.
Hello. My name is Rhonda Eisenberg, 2354 Harrison Avenue, Baldwin. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. So we get them all in there. I wasn't going to speak, but I really just want to make a comment. We live in this town. We bought houses. We want the best for our town. And when people get up here and express their concern about things, so for example, those of us who live near Bixby Drive on Harrison Avenue, we're concerned about what's happening with the high-rise developments. So one of my neighbors gets up and is very concerned about some fraud issue, and some of you aren't even listening. You're having a private conversation, laughing, and then other people get up and speak about animals that are in shelters. I personally adopted 2 cats from that shelter who were wonderful cats. And you're not listening. I mean, maybe some of you are, but clearly some of you aren't. We come here because you're our representatives. At least treat the people who are speaking with respect. Thank you.
Okay. I just don't want you to have the misconception that no one at the town board's not listening to you. No, I'm just letting you know. Again, you made the comment, so I'm going to be fair to you here. Just so you know, and it happens at every meeting. I write down every single note. I write down your address. I write down every concern. Just like Mrs. DiTieri said, we're doing a lousy job at adopting. We don't have enough people. I just wrote down the next person said, we're doing an amazing job at adopting. So I don't want any of you thinking that any of us are not listening. Actually, all of us are engaged and we're paying attention to every single word you said. And when it comes to Baldwin, I do want to remind my good friends down in Baldwin that the projects that were put in Baldwin were done so by the governor, a supervisor prior to me that they really tried to run through. And when the people gave me the opportunity to serve them as a supervisor, I actually made the state delay this thing to give people more opportunity down there in Baldwin, to give people the feedback. So I don't want any of you thinking that none of us pay attention to you, because it's tied to the contrary. Every single thing you say here, I know where every single one of you live. From this guy to Riverhead, to our friends on Bayshore, to Plainview, to Baldwin. But every time you raise a concern after the meeting, we actually go back and we talk to the departments. And we say, well, what was that concern about? Or what was this about? At the last meeting, when somebody talked about what's going on in Huntington, I can't tell you what's going on in Huntington. We're not Huntington. I can tell you what's going on here. But I don't want you to have that feeling that we don't care, we don't pay attention. It's actually quite to the contrary, that we talk about this stuff all the time. So we appreciate you coming in, and don't think otherwise. I just don't want you thinking that. It's just not a feeling you should get from us, because we do pay attention.
I want to say something also on that note. You know, when you see these conversations that are going back and forth, we're discussing what you guys are saying. We're comparing, well, this person said this. We're actually discussing what you're talking about. It's not that we're sitting here laughing and doing something else. We're hearing what you're saying. We're discussing it. I also have adopted multiple animals from this shelter. I'm an animal lover. The accusations that we don't care are really hurtful. We try our best, and we are fully supporting whatever we can support. We want this run the right way. So the accusations are really not helping at all.
And I'd just like to say one more thing. You were talking about what has not happened in Baldwin. The person who's in charge, we had a meeting, he sent it out to everybody that we were having it. Not one of you showed up. 2 people, that was it. So when we do it and we have it there for you, why don't you come? That's what it's all about. We sent it out. It was sent in the mail. And not only that, I was there when it first started.
The deputy supervisor had a community meeting. That's what she's letting you know. That's what I said. You know, look, for all, hold on. For all of you, it's like I said, it really comes back to the fact that we pay attention to it. We listen to stuff. And when people make a statement like, if it's not true, I'm just not going to allow someone to give a representation that a document wasn't available to people. I'm sorry. It was, because that's the way we run it. We put it out there for people to see. And when someone says, you know, oh, you're not, we actually write down everything. I mean, I wrote down you adopted 2 cats. That's how detailed I get on this stuff. We take it to heart. And I don't want you thinking otherwise. But I will say, you know, sometimes when people make the comments and give the representation, there are ramifications sometimes when people make false representations, particularly about the shelter. Something more recently came to heart personally for me. I'm not going to share it. The town board knows. But it derived from people saying things at the shelter. And unfortunately, it was of a circumstance that had to be reported to the police. So I'm saying, when people come here and they make a statement, and maybe it's not forthcomingly or accurate or representation, I don't want you to think it doesn't have a ramification with some people who are watching this online, taking everything that's said verbatim. And that's what I said, like sometimes when people come here and they make these statements about people and all of a sudden, if it's not fully accurate, you are driving people into believing some concepts. So when you're making a representation about people, please make sure it's accurate and fair. Like I said, the town animal shelter employees are awesome. I work with none of the time. These are good working hard people down there. And sometimes I feel like they should get battle pay because it's all about personality fights down there. It's one group doesn't like another group, and that's what it comes down to. It really does. And it is a personality issue down there with a lot of people. But the people that suffer the most are the men and women who go to that place every single day and do their jobs. And they try and do the best job they can. Like I said, in the last 5 minutes, I'm a little fired up. In the last 5 minutes, I had to hear one person say, "You don't have enough staff. You need more person to staff to adopt." 3 minutes later, we've adopted a record number. We're doing a great job down there. What kind of mixed message are you sending to everybody I work with down there? I got to go down there and console half these people because some of you come in here and say the negative thing, and then you flip around and everything, you forget about the positive. So I'm just saying, sometimes, personalities aside, you got to put it aside. But when it comes to what you're saying, we take it to heart. I'm sorry. Go, please.
Hi, my name's Francesca Zaldivar, and I live in Huntington. For the record, my favorite activities do not include attending town board meetings and public speaking. Thanks. My heart's beating out of my chest, but I will continue to come to the meetings as a proud dog walking volunteer since 2019 because the shelter's incredibly important to me and many others. I just want to say that the volunteers and staff have a beautiful relationship. Volunteers have the utmost respect for the staff and the hard work that they do to take care of the animals. I just want to make sure you understand that. I'm here today to express my concerns regarding the privatization bid by Goldman Animal Alliance. According to the Town of Hempstead vendor's public disclosure statement, Mr. Berman owns 100% of the alliance, which is concerning. His alleged financial ties to the now defunct sloth encounters and much more recently an exotic animal experience in Alabama are deeply concerning. Mr. Berman and the other men listed on the bid have no experience in shelter management. I don't see how they can be entrusted to handle the hundreds of animals there at a time, often with medical and behavioral issues. I implore you to protect the animals and your taxpayers and reject this bid. And if I could have 3 wishes for Christmas, one would be to have more staff at the shelter because even though they're amazing, they work very hard and they need more help. And we all try to help each other as much as we can, but they could definitely use more help. I would like to see behavioral euthanasia streamlined so dogs that have been deemed unadoptable do not have to linger for weeks, sometimes months, without being walked because they're too dangerous to be taken out. And I would like to see them put to sleep peacefully. And there's a water dispenser in the shelter that I was recently alerted. It drains into a kennel as opposed to into a drain. And it fills up with all sorts of things that people pour down the drain. And then the staff have to dump the bucket full of coffee or whatever. And it attracts critters, rodents, bugs. So I'd like to see that be taken care of. So thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Skoda. I live in Merrick. I'm here just to speak again, as so many others before me, on the privatization of the shelter. I just wanted to say a few things. I had stuff written and I just can't think of them right now. But one of those important things that I want to mention was that our township is a very large township. We come from all walks of life. And the one thing great majority of us have in common is that we love our animals. We have a love for animals, our own, others, strays. We have a love for animals. That being said, it shows in the shelter. The shelter needs help, but it works. Everyone that works there is not there for the pay. They're not there for the glory. They work day and night to make sure those animals are cared for, and they give them everything and more. And also in conjunction with, forgive me, I'm nervous, I've been wanting to say a lot, but in conjunction with the volunteer staff, they come together and do the best that they can. So for me, it's about motivations. Who is motivated to do what? The people that are there now, they're motivated to do more. I am begging you that you work with them to do more and get those things done. Ask yourselves, what would the motivation of privatization do? It's for profit. How would they make a profit? They wouldn't waive fees. They would charge exorbitant fees to those beautiful pups, those purebreds, but what's going to happen with the mutts? What's going to happen with the strays? What's going to happen with those that are going to take too much money away by feeding them and by housing them? Where is that going to go? It's going to end up in euthanasia, highest euthanasia that we've ever seen, because we are the largest shelter after all, aren't we? And I just would actually beg you to really consider the motivations and work with what you have. It works. It isn't perfect, but it's there, and they want you to come visit and watch the staff. They hardly ever lift their head up. They're always in the pens. They're always working in the kennels. They do the best they can. Work with what you have, because the alternative is you think you're going to kind of absolve yourself of that responsibility if a company comes in and privatizes, but you won't. Things are going to happen, and whatever happens after is your legacy. It's what you're going to be remembered by. And I just, again, like I said in the last meeting, please consider what your legacy will be in the end. I'm grateful. Have a happy and a healthy holiday.
All right. Any other comments that didn't sign in? Please, you two, please. Good morning, name and address. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gina Rodway. My address is 2339 Harrison Avenue. And I'm here to again speak about Gregory DeRosa. I just want to know, did you guys know? I'm asking a question.
We know.
This is a public session time, and anything that's dealing with Huntington is Huntington's investigation.
Mr. Supervisor, I would just say this, okay, with regard to what you're bringing up.
Could you stop while
We're
you're
very
talking?
much
Stop my
aware of the
time.
situation, and we're doing the proper investigation of anything going on down there. We're cognizant of what has been read in the newspapers. We're aware of it, and any action that's taken in the future will be properly vetted.
2, 3, 4, 5. I have about 7 different articles concerning them. However, there is no concern about the ceasing and desisting of this particular developer in this situation. Nobody is saying anything like we're not dealing with, we're going to wait. No one is telling us anything. And we see and have all of this. So that's why we're coming to you to ask you, maybe you didn't see it, because that's the impression it leaves with us. Because no one is telling us what is going to occur here, only that we know that this has been put in place and it's going to happen. No one has told us anything else. The other thing I want to mention is that we in Baldwin are not getting communication as you say you're giving us the communication. If one person said it, now I'm saying it, and another person said, and we live in Baldwin and we ask, when was this communication? Little type in Newsday or one little line in is not enough. It is not enough. This county has been dealing with a lack of communication to the patrons that live here for a long time. A long time. I would like to ask you, I know her name is Gooseby, when did all this happen? When was this meeting? Because we don't know. And what was the meeting about?
What do you want?
from the beginning, when, when money came down from the
You're
state.
never stopping the clock when you guys talk. Okay,
I speak now?
it stopped.
He would do that. When we first started out with this, I think it was about at least 6 or 7 years ago. Remember when money came down from Albany and we used that money? We had meetings at the school. Were you there? Did you attend those meetings?
Those meetings I was not attend.
Well, we started at that time. There were quite, any of you here from Baldwin, were you there for this meeting that we had? The meeting when we had it from the state of New York, and they sent me people from here who work for the state to talk to you about all the things that were going on as far as the money and as far as trying to get everything straight out for Baldwin. Because at that time, they had.
No. Ma'am, so when Miss Maraday, please, Miss Maraday, I can't understand you through the mask. Here's my comment to you, ma'am. When the process started by New York State that was created, this zone, New York State ran meetings at the Baldwin High School. I remember that.
That's right.
It was prior to me being here, and then when I became supervisor, I remember going to two of the meetings down there. I think that's what the deputy supervisor is making reference to, the public hearings that were conducted down there, because it was ultimately New York State that made the recommendation on these projects. If you're not aware, New York State, Miss Maraday, please. Miss Maraday, we're getting tired of you screaming out. I'm having a nice conversation with the woman who's respectful. So New York State made recommendations because New York State had funding, and I think it was $20 million. Well, Ms. Maraday just acknowledged that it was the state that had the money, so that's great. So it was New York State that helped make the determinations for the funding. So New York State is the one that gave the recommendations because they're the ones that controlled the funding, controlled the purse from the governor's office to these developments down there. But she's making reference to those initial meetings that were held by New York State, because what they did at that time, if I'm not mistaken, they had a lot of different proposals, and they were the ones who trimmed it on down.
Okay, what was?
I'm not going to speak anymore unless she.
Okay.
With her, I'm not going to listen to you anymore, Mrs. Maraday. Your mother would be very disappointed in you for acting the way you are.
Why don't we do this instead of Miss Maraday having a thing, ma'am? You've been incredibly polite and a pleasure to deal with. So what I'd love to do with you is I will take your name and number right after the meeting. My assistant Carol, and we'll have a call and we'll have you come on up, and I'll have a meeting with you because you're incredibly pleasant and nice to deal with, an incredibly rational person. We can go through it. Is that fair enough? Thank you very, very much. And apparently Miss Maraday thinks by screaming it's going to help things, ma'am. So we'll follow up with you, Carol. If you can get Miss Maraday, please. We're tired of you screaming. Then you're done. Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And for our New Year's resolution, let us all act with dignity and joy for 2025 at the town board. Thank you all very, very much.